Canon camcorders have been viewed by some as looking a bit odd. They've never followed a conventional design of a camcorder. But what's interesting now is other manufacturers, more traditional style manufacturers, are kind of following this almost banana-shaped design in some of their more recent camera designs. I've got to be honest, I've never had too much contact with Canon camcorders, but I picked this up in the showroom the other day, and I was really, really impressed. Let me start with the chassis. The first thing you notice is it's got a die-cast alloy chassis, so it's a very solid camera. It's got a nice weight to it, and when you put it on your shoulder, you know, it feels like a proper camera, and that for me is something that's very, very important, and I love this feature. The NDs are built into the barrel of the lens, so as an operator, all my lens functions are actually on the lens. It's only a small thing, but it makes a lot of sense when you're operating. You know that you can flick into your NDs in bright sunlight rather than fumbling around on the camera to try and find the button. So that's a lovely touch. The other thing that I noticed straight away is the quality of the lens. Now, Canon make incredibly high quality broadcast lens, both in standard definition and high definition, and also lenses in the stills market. And this lens here really does pack quite a punch. The Canon lens is really in a class of its own, and I don't believe there's another camera out there in this price bracket which has such a nice piece of glass. If I just remove this lens and show you, it's got a 1440 by 1080 sensor. The picture quality coming off this will stand up very well against a much more expensive XD Cam HD camcorder. Now, on the previous XL1 and XL2 cameras, which were standard definition cameras, you could put an adapter on the lens and bolt on photographic stills lenses. You can't actually do that with this camera. 35mm stills lenses are designed to work with 35mm sensors. This is far smaller and it won't work. What will happen is a lens error will show up in the viewfinder saying it's not HD compatible. So to complement this 20x lens, Canon have produced a 6x lens. It's only a couple of £1,000, so if you compare the image quality you're getting for the money, it's very, very impressive. On the back here we have timecode in, timecode out, gen lock, and HD SDI, so you can take full baseband 422 native HD from this camera, record it onto another device. We looked at the Flash XDR recently. That kind of device would be ideal for this. Something else I should mention about this camera, which I think will separate it quite dramatically from everything else that's out there. It's now the only camcorder in its class that uses CCD technology. Now, the great thing about that is that if you're an events videographer or you do a lot of entertainment showbiz, you go to premieres, you're shooting a lot of flash photography, CCD won't give you that flash frame that a rolling shutter will give you on the CMOS cameras. So that in itself is a big plus. This camera comes with some really neat accessories out of the box. This is one of my favorites. It's a bracket which screws onto the rear of the camera. Now IDX make a battery adapter, a V-Lock adapter with a dummy Canon battery which powers the camera, and that allows you to use any V-Lock battery of your choosing to power the rear of the camera. This also gives you that little bit of extra ballast at the back to offset the weight of the lens, so you end up with a really nicely balanced camera. The quality of the switches on the side of the camera just indicate the overall build quality. You know, they're solid switches, you can't accidentally press them or knock them. The gain switch has this pot which clicks from position to position, and then once you've set it, you simply pop it back into its housing. Again, just really well considered options. This is a nice feature. Headphone attachment in the back with the volume control for your headphones by the actual jack. So again, very, very intuitive stuff. On the back here we have, if I can open it, lamp control and a 6-pin firewire output. And then down here we have the component output cable. So again, all the connectivity you'd expect from a camcorder in this price bracket. But as I say, I really am very, very impressed, and I would urge you to come and have a look at this camera. I'd overlooked it until now, and I tell you what, it's something else.